Pick a limb, settle in, let the story begin. Make yourself home while we wander and roam. We stay on one branch or we leap to the next, following the trail through the simple and complex. Just father and son, having some fun. Follow the trail, see where it leads. A little wonder is all that you need. Chasing the light on a squirrely ride.
Welcome back to Squirrel Trails.
We're all over the place today, but yeah.
Yeah, especially today. Today's a fun little conversation.
So let's, and I didn't do much last week because I was ill, so we recovered that now. It's a wonderful Father's Day weekend. But, and I've got way too much work to do now. However, you had a major accomplishment last week.
I did. It was Father's Day weekend.
Cool.
Yes. I did graduate from my welding school, 16-week course, which was awesome. So, and I didn't have to go back on Monday to make up hours.
Like most of your class.
Like most of my class. But yeah, that was awesome. I got, I think, a total of 9 certs.
Yep.
I got probably like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 3 or 4 in stick.
Yep.
2 in TIG, and the rest were in MIG.
Okay.
So I think 4 or 5 in MIG.
Yeah.
With 1 pipe cert. So yeah.
So you got through all of those. You did get a pipe cert. So given that you want to be a boiler maker, that's important.
That's important. 100%.
Boilers are round.
Yes.
And they have pipes.
Pipes are round. Boilers aren't necessarily round, but yes.
Okay, yeah, be that way.
Specific rules.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So you're moving forward in your next chosen career path.
Yes.
Really seemed to have impressed me. I mean, I did get a chance to go to the graduation ceremony. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
There was no cape and hat and capes. Gowns.
No. I mean, for a 6-week course, there really is no. I mean, I did get a little diploma that you got.
You get a little diploma, plus your certs. Those are the things you needed to hand to the Boilermakers Union to say, yes, I'm good.
And I did it yesterday.
So that process is good. And you guys made a really cool project.
Yeah.
You made a rocket
stove.
A rocket stove.
Yeah, and we modified it.
And you modified it. So
most rocket stoves are just essentially a vertical pipe and a horizontal pipe.
Yes, that's
what
I've seen.
One at an angle where you put your wood inside.
Yep.
The flame comes up the vertical, the airflow goes on the bottom.
Great.
And that's all it is. Ours, we modified it to have a grill on top, which came out okay. For last minute modification, not having any plan.
So there was no design that you had ahead of time?
No. So we had a design for the rocket stove. And I went out and bought a 16-inch by 16.3 inch grill top.
Grill top, yep.
And said, okay, so how do we do this? And then I figured out the size, the angle for the 16 going here, cutting down to the pipe is 4 inches, or it's actually a tube. So it's 4 inches on the bottom, 16 by the grill. Okay, and what's the angle of that?
Wait a minute, did you actually have to do math?
I had to do math, angles, 100%.
It had to work? Damn.
Yeah, so and to be honest, it turned out really well.
Oh no, I liked it.
The hard part was because of the cost of the project, the school can't just buy any material.
Right.
And they were providing the material. So I was wanting a thick material for those plates. Cost, just take these two. And so there was some warping that was happening that was really no way to not do without spending a lot more time that we didn't have.
And that's one of those things with class projects is you can only do so much in the time you've got, the money you've got, but that was a classic learning experience between, I can get it fast, I can get it cheap. I mean, the three the three kinds of things that we have always do. So you reiterated what you had learned in your web design class that
Yeah.
It's the same process. And
Same
then-
process, but I did walk away with a finished product.
You did.
Where my last capstone project, I didn't walk away with a finished product.
Your last capstone project didn't actually get to any of those three
No, it
attributes.
had them, and then day one they went all been.
Yeah. So,
But let's not talk about that.
Yeah, when
'cause
you're-
that's a sore subject.
yeah, when your
for a lot of
client,
us.
yeah, when your client blows the project up.
Yes. Yep. A new
So-
client. Yeah. But anyways, so I got that done.
Congratulations.
And hopefully we'll be able to make her at least on their role as just a helper guy,
Yep.
work guy, or part of the union here soon.
Okay.
Which means we may do this differently if I'm traveling.
Yeah,
Again.
we have to go back to the concept we kicked around when you were driving a truck,
Yep.
that we have to be able to do this through video connections.
Video connection. Yep.
And it makes your life a tad more interesting, but
Sure.
I don't have any problem with making your life interesting.
Yep. It's something to be honest, it's something I'm good at.
Yes.
Making my life interesting.
Yes. So
yeah.
we'll see how that works.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So back to our conversation today. So
And this is way off of anything we have talked about
100%.
before.
Again,
Yeah.
this is a Squirrel Trail moment that is actually a real life Squirrel Trail moment. That me and my wife were having a conversation. We're sitting outside, and she mentioned something about I think it was a relative or a friend that lived out in Webster, Minnesota.
Okay.
And the husband fixed planes and helicopters.
Okay.
And had a little helicopter landing pad and an airport strip on his property.
His own little property.
His own little thing.
Had
Yep.
a runway, and which included a little helicopter pad off to the side.
Yes.
Cool.
So those are the things she could remember. And she was like, "Oh yeah, it was a little gated community. People had
So there was more than one
no,
person.
hold on, more than one person. It was a gated
A
community,
neighborhood. That was
neighborhood
that
airport.
shared this.
Shared.
Okay. Key point.
Yeah, which is yeah. And so I'm like, what? That just sounds crazy.
What? That there's a neighborhood that has an airport?
Yes.
Why wouldn't a neighborhood have an airport?
Oh.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm a bit older than you.
Yes.
And growing up in Phoenix, we had one south of town that was another gated community where there were, 20 houses with a little airport. And that was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had enough money.
Sure.
So keep going with your story.
Yeah. So I ended up finding this little town.
Okay.
And actually it's just outside of Webster. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it's actually like listed what type of it has its own little name and everything.
Yes, because it's an official
It's
runway.
an official runway.
It has to have it.
And that got me thinking about, again, I took that, and then went, oh, you and I had a conversation a while ago about the car planes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Commuting in a car.
commuting in a car that turns into a plane,
Yep.
and how would that work? And where would you take off and land? And we talked about going to rest stops.
Yep.
And using rest stops as little exit and entry points to freeways.
Sure.
So, because it just, yeah.
We have to get around the truckers that are parking there these days.
100%, yeah. And so, so that was this whole little, and then I just went crazy on how do these things start? Like, how many are there? What does it take to have a little community? And then what does it cost to have your own little car?
Yeah, this isn't something just anybody can do. Because
Actually, kind of.
okay, let's talk about that.
Okay. So, first, you said there's a little history on little neighborhood airports.
So, let's start the conversation. So we all know that there are big towns that have airports.
Yes.
And then we also know that there are farmers and such that have airports out in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't but about 100 years ago, that flying was pretty unregulated. The FAA didn't exist. Civil Air Board didn't really exist. If you could get a a vehicle that could get up in the air and go, you could just fly wherever you wanted to. There were not a lot of rules back then.
Kind of scary.
It predates my time by a lot, so I wasn't around back then. But that was, and there's a couple of really good movies on this, but that walk through that structure. So people lived out in the middle of nowhere, and having a plane so you didn't have to get in a car to go someplace was really kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we could do that. And I am going to say, and that there were a number of accidents that happened in the 20s. Barnstorming, if you ever get out and watch barnstorming movies, or people literally walking on the wings of planes into biplanes and flying through a barn, hence the term barnstorming, and did a lot of dangerous things with planes, and a lot of people got hurt and killed and such, but free marketplace. And you got out there and did that, and you're on your own. That's great. The downside is, though, that when a plane crashes, there's quite often somebody else involved in the pilot.
Usually.
Yeah, and so that's when we started to see a lot more regulations on that. You actually had to get licenses to fly and that. But I'm remembering probably in like the 50s, you saw an uptick with people coming back from World War II that had a little more money in their pocket. They got got a GED. They got, they used their government money from their GI Bill to get a license to fly. Because I mean, both my father and stepfather had private licenses. In fact, my father, Harry Vancourt, he was the pilot for Cummins diesel engines in Arizona.
Oh shit!
So he flew. He was paid to be the pilot.
Nice.
And fly over that. He eventually had to give that up because there were some bad things that happened. But he gave that up.
Happened.
And Jim flew a lot as well. In fact, and that's who got me into it. I did not get my license. I did solo and ran out of money because it is not a cheap hobby. It is not a cheap hobby.
No.
And I had to determine if I'm going to make mortgage payments or continue to learn how to fly. Probably made the wrong choice. But this was, it was good. But it's fun to do. I'll be absolutely honest. The level of confidence that you get learning how to fly and confidence in yourself, it's a wonderful hobby to have, but it ain't cheap.
You could have been a pilot versus an auditor.
Yeah, there's a scary thought.
Right.
So, yeah, given my ability to ask inappropriate questions when you're flying, not a good answer.
Not a good answer,
Yeah, so, ADHD as a pilot, not a good thing.
No.
So, but anyway, so you started to see this in like the 50s, where these little neighborhoods would crop up.
Yep.
But you had to have money. So these little private neighborhoods, and there was a huge push. You actually saw, I think Disney may have done a little skit on this kind of stuff. And there were a handful of essentially public service announcements on, hey, this is advertisements, for lack of a better word, on you could do this too.
Sure.
And because, let's be honest, you can get the house, you can build your own plane. There are kits out there that do
100%.
this.
100%. Yeah. This is where my kind of squirrel trailing, going off to different branches, kind of went crazy.
Yeah.
So first, there are roughly 20,000 airports.
And we know that because the FAA has to register
those are registered.
Yeah.
And there are a bunch that aren't, that are just little...
If you've got a grass strip, you're probably supposed to have that registered, but if you don't, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of dependent on the usage.
Yeah.
And then, so out of that 20,000, only about 5,000 are public airports.
And when we talk about public airports, what do we mean by public?
So public airports mean like your state or city airport.
So like for us, we've got
Minneapolis Airport.
The one in Blaine,
one in Blaine. Yep. So your standard.
So the big
airports, not just for your commercial like big planes, but also for private jets.
Yeah. So when you see
Smaller
a
planes.
jet coming in, private, because to be honest, the big public airports like Minneapolis, St. Paul,
don't like private jets.
They do not like private jets.
No.
Private jets is okay.
For most private people.
But you're in there with a Cessna 150.
Yeah.
You can't That's like, you can't land at the speed you need to be flying to, not getting sucked into the airport.
Yeah. And so it's just easier to go to your smaller airport.
Right.
It's better, it's more suited for your customer
Right,
base. Anyways.
exactly.
So, and then, so what does that leave us?
So we got 15,000. We got 5,000 that are public, and that includes all little airports around a town.
City airports.
City airports, and then we've got 15,000 more scattered around the country.
So yeah, and there's roughly about 1,000 that are just basically farms.
So this is a strip with
dirt strip, grass strip that has, the guy doesn't really have a hangar.
Okay.
It's where the crop duster comes in, does the making all the chemicals and then crop dusting.
Okay, but it's
doing normal.
but it has a
that kind of stuff.
commercial purpose, so it has to be registered.
Yep. And so and those are basically just for farmers.
Right.
And that leaves roughly
14,000.
14,000.
I can still do math.
Yep.
Accounting was a long time ago.
Counting works. 14,000 little neighborhood private airports. Now we're talking like we're a neighborhood community, a gated community,
Right.
that has a dozen or so houses or more.
Okay.
There's a bunch in Florida that,
Okay.
I mean,
Makes sense.
bigger neighborhoods.
Bigger neighborhoods.
Probably most of those are like water boats coming
Yeah.
in and out, canals, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point, because you're
Not
going to
just
have
grassland.
right.
'Cause out there, it's
But to be honest, if you have, and I hadn't even thought about this, so that if you live next to a waterway, does that actually have to count as a official airport?
so.
Or can I just
it
land
would
in the
probably
lake?
be a specific waterway, like meant for jet planes.
'Cause, I mean-
Because cool thing is, so the neighborhood that I found.
Yep.
Doing some research. So their main road coming into the neighborhood.
Okay.
Is the landing strip, takeoff strip. Okay.
Hold on.
For the car.
So the car, so I drive in my car.
Yep.
Drive in.
Yep.
And there could be a plane
If
coming
there's
out.
a plane coming, you as a car driver legally are required to get off the runway.
Correct.
Not the plane going, oh no, there's a car in the way, I'll come back around. No.
No, and that is, I mean, that's
Which is kind of crazy.
yeah. Part of it is it's easier for you to move than
Correct.
the plane.
100%. Correct. It makes logical sense, but just thinking going, wow, the car does not have the right of way.
Yeah, and the interesting thought is, if the plane's coming in behind you, will you see it?
And that's where, so this is where those things, and I'm betting that most of those people that own the planes in the neighborhood, their cars have little radios.
Yeah.
Because they're all,
And it's another thing, because it's an official radio. When you're coming in to land in those, you're supposed to be communicating to the ground radio at that area.
there's no
saying-
ground control.
No, there's no ground control.
Correct.
But you're communicating
Yes.
on a given frequency to say,
Getting
hey, I'm coming in.
I'm coming in, yes.
Because
100%.
when you're taking off, when you're flying in the air, cooperation is really critical.
And that's the cool thing. So, and that was my biggest surprise is these communities don't have to have a designated person all the time watching that strip. There's no one ever.
No, because you're all, I mean, just like the little crop duster that's out in the middle, they don't have somebody there. They can't afford to have that.
100%. Yep.
So again,
But for a neighborhood, I would say like you have 30 people. There might be someone there that like at least business hours have 9 to 5. Someone to watch the. Nope. It's just
trust.
trust. Yeah, trust. But trust and verify.
Trust and communicate.
I guess the verify is the radio.
So here's if you are a pilot, one of the critical things that you are taught, or at least I was taught, was make sure you watch what's going on and you're communicating.
Yep.
So I will be honest, if I'm flying into that runway and I see the car, I'm not trusting that car to get out of my way. That's what I was taught.
Sure.
Is that if you see something that could cause you to die,
Yep. 100%. Yeah.
let's be honest.
Yep.
You need to take control of your own self. Because
Correct.
It's how do I know that he's in the car? How do you know that
Their radio's on.
Yeah.
How do you know they're paying attention?
Well, more importantly, how do you know that somebody from the neighborhood? Because I could have been driving in.
Oh, that's
I
true.
don't have a radio.
Yeah. So that's so it's one of those things. It was kind of cool to kind of learn that most of these neighborhood airports just kind of free reign.
It's true of probably most of those 14,000 airports.
Yeah,
Is that it's? I mean, there are. You'd be amazed
So safety concern was my kind of go. I learned that factor. I'm going safety as a truck driver.
Yep.
It's one of those things that there's rules and regulations for a reason.
So
there are rules and regulations.
Do you have ground control at a truck stop area directing traffic?
You have a guard at the gate to get in.
Yeah, but
most areas.
other than that, so you're flying. You're coming
and
into
yes,
a
I'm
big
told exactly what dock
Buc-ee's.
to go to. I'm told I can't just pick a dock any dock.
Yeah,
You
no.
have a choice.
But okay, so you're pulling into one of these big Buc-ee's or a J,
Sure.
and so there's 30 trucks coming in and out of there.
There's again, yes, there is no person there, but traffic flow is
Right.
generally happening.
And that's what happens in many of these airports.
But-
There's kind of expected activity
Exactly, yeah, which is
because people are supposed to cooperate.
yeah. So true. It's just a bigger. It seems like it'd be a bigger deal. It's a plane.
And it's up in the air.
It's up in the air. Exactly.
And when you have a fender bender with a truck, people get ticked. You may end up with fights.
Yep.
But if you
Fender
have a
bender in the air
at 1,000 feet, doesn't end well for anybody.
No. Yeah.
But this is the reason why so many of these rules were put into place.
Yeah. So so then I looked into what does a car cost? Okay. Or what does a plane cost? Plane car?
Okay, so I buy a car, a used car. I bought a used car a few years ago.
Okay.
$30,000, and that was not a high-end vehicle.
No. I found out I could get an old plane between $25,000 to $40,000.
But that's just a plane, 1 or 2 passenger plane.
Yep.
Cessna or something.
Yep.
That you can get in that. And those, by the way, if you can, those are a hoot. I mean, I flew Pipers, loved it.
They're fun to ride in.
Yeah, it's.
I remember that time.
Yeah, it's a hoot to do, and you can get into it. But okay, so yeah, so
But a car plane or a plane car, whatever they're called, which one I don't know which one. I don't know how else to describe it.
it's different than a convertible, but it kind of converts.
It is convertible, but just not the hood.
Not the top comes down.
Maybe. I don't know. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
A convertible instead of like what's the old like cars, the doors that go up and down.
Oh yeah.
So instead of up and down, they go up.
They go out. Yeah.
But anyways.
Come down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, but yeah, so new model plane cars that ones where you take off the wings or they fold in.
And so you can then drive it later on.
Then you can drive it later on. So
Okay.
you land and then drive.
Yep.
Or the ones that have propellers that come down. It's more like a helicopter than a plane.
Those are expensive.
Yeah. So those range from anywhere from $100,000 to like $300,000, and a lot of those, which is interesting to find out, is that you build most of it.
Yes.
You had to build 51% of it.
And so they're called experimentals.
Yep.
Because it's not really an experiment. You get a plan.
Yep.
You do this, but they classify it as experimental because that means that somebody hasn't actually signed off on it.
Yeah. Makes it easier. Rules and
Yeah.
regulations.
Yeah.
Talk about getting.
Your grandfather and I kicked around doing that with a helicopter because there was a place in southern Arizona that would sell you a helicopter kit for, I don't know, it was like $200. It was dirt cheap.
Wow.
But it was like, the problem is once you got it, and then it was like, well, yeah, the plans are $200.
Yeah.
And there was help that could help you, but there was help that couldn't help you, whatever.
Yeah. most help helps. Depending on
my family.
depending on the help.
So we did start looking at
Sure.
it, but the sanity got to us ahead of time.
Dang it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that,
Second, given my coordination skill, can you imagine me flying a helicopter? I struggle spinning 2 batons, in the Taekwondo class. Imagine me doing a helicopter. Yikes.
you're using your hands and your feet at the same time.
Yeah.
Man, can you do that?
Yeah.
and then using your feet to
at the same time, yeah.
you gotta
So-
cross stitch. But yeah, so it can be cheap.
Yeah.
It can be super expensive.
Okay, you can get into it cheap.
Yep.
And if you've got all the right skills, sure. I have guy I know that's building one in his, literally guy I know he used to work with, building one in his garage.
And it runs on unleaded,
Sure.
which is crazy. Not jet fuel,
Is it a jet?
the plane.
No, it's
Plane fuel.
okay.
Anyways, just weird little thing. I think
It's
you think
about
of
the
a
type of
plane.
engine, not the kind.
Yeah, I know. It was just kind of one of those things you would naturally just kind of, it's a plane. So what are you going to use? Diesel?
And this is
Nope.
this is where the
Unleaded.
this is where our maybe aviation fuel, but it's I mean this is where our age difference comes into
100%.
play. I mean for
And-
me a propeller on a plane is the norm.
Yeah, my thought process, like, I don't know. It is what
It's got to have a rocket under the wings. We're good.
Right, yeah. How far can I throw it?
Slingshot. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
that's the Navy.
slingshot plane.
Yeah. There are carriers that work that way, but okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Wow.
Anyways, way off track. Okay, so how it goes. But so then I looked into how does a neighborhood start like this?
How does a neighborhood airport start?
How does a neighborhood airport start?
As opposed to just there's a developer, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So say my neighborhood.
Sure.
Could I turn it into a private runway?
If you had 40 acres behind you someplace, sure.
Do we have a road that's long enough? Yes.
Yeah, if you got enough acreage to do that. Because
Not me personally, the neighborhood, the fenced-in community.
So,
Because the main road,
okay.
I don't need a grass,
Yeah, main
paved
road.
road.
That's great, but right now that's a city road.
Yes,
So you'd have to get the city to agree that, yeah, we could do that.
100%.
Because, and first time a city policeman watches a plane take off from there, he's going to have heart failure.
Right. Yeah.
Justifiably so.
So the steps that have to happen
Right.
Is you as a community,
Yeah.
you essentially have a gated community day.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure there has to be a gate. Just it says gated community. It doesn't need a gate. I don't know.
It probably doesn't need a gate,
But
except
safety reasons make
Yeah, 'cause
sense.
you don't want 5-year-olds running onto the
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes. Cool. Or just some random people just driving on the road.
If I put the money into the plane, I don't want somebody flying it away. On the other hand, not many people are able to fly. A lot of people can probably get into it and maybe start it,
I
and then
can figure it out. Most people could.
they can figure something out.
It's one of the. Okay.
I remember when I was taking my ground course, the number of accidents that occur right after takeoff.
Yeah,
the vast majority of them.
I can start it.
Yeah.
I can figure out how to start it and go. Whoo. After that, we'll see what happens. But anyways, so yeah, so
That's your definition of life, now that I think about it.
100%. Grab the steering wheel and go.
Oh
Makes
my
life
God.
fun.
That's it all makes sense now.
So
He's a pilot without a license for life.
Oh man, Phew. Yep. It's a scary thought. Don't tell my wife. Yeah.
No, she's figured this out. Trust me, she's figured this out.
You should along for the ride.
Yeah, when you get married, that probably should. Is he licensed for life?
right, yeah, right.
Turn to the pastor.
Oh man. Oh yikes.
I took it off the turn.
Wait, yeah. It's gonna just great. I was thinking about licensing for how you actually
Yeah, we've talked about
Contracts.
licensing for parenting, but yeah, but
licensing
should
with thought
start-
process and go,
yeah.
yeah, the way you live your life. Yeah. So you go to the city council.
Okay.
Get it and you
it
essentially
signed off.
Get it signed off, and then you go to the county,
Yep.
and then you go to the state. And then FAA.
And then so you walk through, get all the approvals because it's
And
going to have to get
and you
put
don't
on
have to
maps.
get it. You don't have to get it. You don't have to ask the FAA first. You tell them afterwards.
Sure, because all they're going to do is put it on the map. Actually, it's
Nope.
going to. Well, wait a minute. If you're,
They don't have to approve it.
But what happens if you're trying to do this where there's restricted area? Like,
Sure, some of that, yes.
I mean, about
But-
to say, there's
there-
you can't just park one of these things anyplace.
So yeah, again, you can't just. Yes, you can't just park it, and that's part of the planning for the city
Okay.
side of things.
So the city will go.
City go,
The
you
city will
can't-
look at the air map and go.
Yep.
Sure, there's no red marked
There's
here.
no, yep.
Yeah.
And again, and most of these you're flying in above 5,000, or you're somewhere 15,000 feet in the air. That's where you're flying.
Sure.
So, because then so yeah.
But
so then
not when you're landing.
no, true. Yeah. Hopefully not. we're not the Jetsons yet.
I go across. Okay, I'm over.
Yep.
And I'm at 3,000 feet. I guess I'm done. Click.
That's how the Jetsons work.
True.
Then you can just take a tunnel and just an elevator down and down. So,
Pole dancing comes to mind.
so
okay.
Yep. Okay. So after the FAA says, "Yep,
Yep.
good to go," now you have your own little area,
Okay. Yep.
which is super cool. Just interesting to figure out how often these things are out there, how easy it is kind of to get into it. I mean, not necessarily easy, but it's fairly easy to do.
So here's a couple of follow-up questions to think about. How many of those have been, if we were to track those over time,
Sure.
how many new ones are being created?
That's a good question. I didn't look at how many new ones, how often.
Because I am guessing that you don't see a bunch of those anymore coming up. But it's simply a guess. I mean, it could be happening. I mean,
Florida and Texas are competing to have the most. So it sounds like they're maybe more
Okay.
as we get new developments, as we get new cars. Because remember, AI is going to be a lot of these newer ones. They're automation, versus which is a whole separate topic.
well, and we do
on
have
control.
we do have quote autopilots on planes as they are, but they don't. It's not fully automated.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
So yep. But more automation on kind of areas and that kind of stuff. I know we're not there yet. It's another whole separate topic on automated planes. And so yeah. So
So I've got one of these. Let's talk about this. I've
Yep.
got one of these, and I'm living, say, 60 miles north of the Twin Cities.
Yep.
I want to commute in because I've got a job in Fridley or something.
so the guy in Webster.
Yep.
Right? And how do they get to Blaine?
Yep.
Okay. It's a 2-hour commute for a car.
For a car.
For a car.
Okay. Yep.
20-minute by plane.
Okay. Yep.
So
Not a lot of red lights at 5,000 feet.
No. So all they do is they fly up, and then every time once they get closer to Minneapolis, they do have to let the Minneapolis airport let them know that.
Yeah, there's
hey,
approach
I'm now
control kind of stuff, yeah.
Approaching your area now.
Yeah.
I'm going to this area. All that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then they land in Blaine, park the plane, deassemble it, and then you drive it onto the road, or park it and get in your car that's already parked there.
Yeah, given the traffic in the Twin Cities, I'm not sure I want to put a. I don't know. Do I want to drive that through town? What's my other option?
Drive the plane, drive the car.
So if I drive in, because we're talking that convertible.
Yeah, convertible. Yep.
Yeah. So once I fold
Yes.
the wings
you,
up,
You fold the wings up.
and away I go.
You exit the runway. Go to the.
Yep.
And then you hop on the road, and there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And the plane has to have the tail lights and numbers, and the wings have to have all the
It
lights.
has to be street legal.
It has to be air legal,
Yep.
and as well as street legal,
Okay.
which means it has to have all the street legal stuff the cars have.
Does it have a different license plate?
100% it does.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it has to have insurance. I didn't think about this. Does it have to have car insurance and plane insurance, or just one?
It probably covers both.
Yeah,
Because you're going to have liability, but your liability is going to be way different.
way different.
So
Yeah,
yeah, and your likelihood of having a fatal accident, you get an accident up in the air, bad things happen. Now, to be
usually.
honest, air flight is way safer than driving cross country in a
100%.
plane. I mean, there's just the statistics are all over that. So,
But-
we joke about it, but the reality is,
it's
as
safer.
long as everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing,
100% way safer.
because we have fewer idiots in the air than we do on the.
And this could end our conversation because there's the idiot part, that's kind of the fun part that I kind of got into at the
Okay.
end. So
We could do this for hours.
100%. Like last time. Sorry.
Like most of our conversation. You guys only get the short part. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry to you or them.
Good question.
You kind of enjoy it. The conversations are crazy. But yeah, so to get your pilot's license,
Yes.
what do you need to take your hours?
You have to go through ground school.
Ground school, yep.
You have to get a number of hours with an instructor.
Yep.
Instructor has to sign off that you can solo.
Yep.
And then he's going to watch you come in and pray a ton as you do this.
Yep.
To be honest, you're probably praying just as much your first solo flight.
Yeah.
And you land. I mean, I'd say I got the standard. So do you need to go change your pants?
Yep.
So fortunately, I said no. Not say that I should. Yeah, we won't go there.
Over there.
So, okay. Then you have to go get the rest of your hours in.
Yep.
Which includes a long distance flight.
Long day, night.
Day, night, all
Weather.
of those things, weather. You don't have to get instrument rated. You just, because you can do visual flight.
Yep. Yeah, all this is visual.
Yeah, and if to be honest though, if I'm going to commute, I'm probably going to want an instrument rated because my boss is going to say, hey, it's raining, I can't come into the office.
right, for sure.
Not going to work. So,
Nope.
so you have to get all of those licenses to get that done.
Correct. And health card.
Yeah, you have to get medical inspection.
Medical card, which is way harder to get than a CDL medical card or work.
That's an interesting question. If I'm flying a plane, I have to, and yes, it's a rigorous little test. Whereas a CDL is
Blood pressure, CPAP, and you're good to see.
right.
Basically it.
Whereas it's a lot.
It's a lot different.
bigger for
yeah.
and that's because
which is great.
a lot of other people are involved.
100%. And most times you have how many souls on board?
Yeah. So you can have just a couple, may have a bunch. Even just yourself, you don't know if that plane goes down into a neighborhood.
Yep.
You got all those folks that are involved there.
Yeah.
But how is that any different than a truck driver that suddenly has a heart attack?
This is
under
when things happen.
Yes.
And that's again. So those sudden things aren't the things that, because again, what ifs?
Yep.
Those random acts, things are kind of
So why do truckers get evaluated for medical?
same thing. Heart attack. I mean,
Right.
But those are it's just kind of, are you good?
Okay.
Once a year, twice a year.
Right.
Or if you have a CPAP, like every 6 months.
And I think for flying, it's an annual.
Yep, same kind of thing. But we've had conversations in the past about truck drivers that don't necessarily have all those rules and regulations that they follow. Medical card, license to drive a CDL, insurance.
Well, they may have them, but they're not meaningful.
Sure.
They've gotten one, but doesn't have the same intent as somebody that's. So the standard to get those varies from state to state, and I don't want to get into the political stuff because that'll drive us crazy.
For sure.
But the reality is, at least my understanding is, the FAA stuff is pretty damn serious.
100%. So the ease, we're cracking down on all the semi drivers.
Yep.
I wonder if they're cracking down on these small planes that are neighborhood planes.
So,
And if there is a, is it because of the medical stuff and the hours of service that are better logged? Because I mean, look at all the schools that stand up and aren't necessarily schools to help a community out
well, you have to get.
versus a plane.
Yeah, if you get
car planes,
to get certified.
if car planes become more prevalent,
Okay.
are we going to see something similar down the road if we don't
If it
get
gets-
better on as the government should? Not that we're trying to get political, nope, but just documentation. Are we going to see things happen again?
So it's a great question. I mean, if it becomes a free-for-all like it was 100 years ago, guaranteed. But what I don't know is, I know what it takes to get a license.
Yep.
But if you lose that license, you don't get your medical inspection, whatever, so they don't they don't take your plane.
No.
You simply aren't authorized
Authorized
to
to
do
drive
that.
the plane.
So who is accountable to say, no, you can't take off?
Yep. Yeah.
I don't
that,
know.
I mean, that's where it kind of, for me, it's like going, holy cow. I mean, we talk about all the road stuff.
Yep.
But how many plane stuff is there kind of the small little neighborhood airports that maybe they have a license?
So this is when you get in an accident in a plane, I mean,
Yep.
in a car.
Yep.
I mean, the police take notice, they take some documentation, you're there, and they might get you, if somebody doesn't have their license, doesn't have their
Sure.
insurance, bad things happen. When you get in a plane accident,
Sure.
that's the way different deal.
We have spots on the road for
Yep.
cops to pull over a semi-truck.
Yep.
We have spots for, hey, pull into the way station.
Yep.
We don't have that for planes.
No.
No, hey, you're coming into this area, please land. Let's see your documentation to make sure you're legal to drive the plane.
So what can happen, this happened to Grandpa Jim and I, we were flying cross country. Of course, it was Grandpa Jim and I doing this.
Yep.
He wasn't always the best rule follower. So we come into
In
an
any
airport,
vehicle.
in any rule. So we're come flying into a little town outside of El Paso, and he misses the change for the radio.
Okay, yep.
And got the wrong information. We darn near landed on a military airstrip. There are a lot of military airstrips running around in these, especially, I mean, you get out to Camp Ripley's got a little airport, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So
And from the sky, they probably look kind of the same.
It's
It's the airport.
It's an airport. You do try, you are supposed to pay attention to the map and that
100%.
kind of stuff,
Yep.
but there's not, well, I take that back. There is some Google stuff.
I wonder if Google Maps.
There is
for the plane.
There is a deal for the planes. I just remember listening to a podcast where somebody was like, because
Have a
the
bill
air
paper.
traffic controls person say, "Get your head out of your tablet and go look at this. Pay attention."
Unless you're using one of those foldable maps.
Oh, there's a skit. The co-pilot next to it. Because if you've ever looked at a big,
the single guy. I don't know, cruise control. Oh, crap, where am I?
oh my God. Okay.
Sorry.
So we're flying and we've screwed up.
Yep.
we get down on the plane and the traffic control, the ground control, like, can you please come over to ground control
Sure.
and come chat with us?
Yeah.
And Grandpa
But there's
said,
ground control.
but there's ground control. Do that.
What happens if it's like my neighborhood to yours? There's no ground control.
No, but you can actually.
If I buy a plane
Yep.
and say, hey, I'll be over in 20 minutes. Fly up, fly down. No one's going to check to see if I have a license.
Unless, and it's an interesting question, does the local police department drive by and say, hey, I'm going to do a
Spot check.
Spot check.
Yep.
We're just going to.
Is it DOT or FAA? Do they have little cars that drive around?
Unlikely, but it's something that can be done.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's again something to research. What's the enforcement model for a neighborhood?
Yep.
And it's not Samantha with the binoculars watching out of her house. That doesn't count.
Yeah, no, you got Karen up there.
So. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it's. But yeah, what is that? I simply don't know. But it's a great question.
It's kind of like just things that are going, huh? Why?
So let's just maybe leave it with this.
Yeah, for sure.
So, how do they enforce that nonsense? Who's accountable to do that? Does anybody? Functionally, if I wanted a developer and I've got 500 acres that I'm
100%.
going to develop. Hey, and maybe this is a marketing thing for me to say, let me find a place for you guys to do this. Now we won't get into the fact.
As a new developer, could you just do that?
Absolutely.
Hey, just because.
Just because. We're going to turn this.
If they know that's gonna have a HOA, just have an HOA and the airport.
Oh, great. HOAs are hard enough as it is. Can you imagine the HOA meetings with the airport? Oh, my goodness.
It is a gated community, so it's going to have HOA.
So, But yeah, I mean, absolutely. These are the things. Oh God. Okay, well, we may or may not talk about this at another time, but there's clearly opportunities for you to research, add comments to us, tell us that we're idiots, because that would not be untrue.
Or a question about the topic.
Yeah,
I love research.
Yeah, now, 25 years after high school, sure, I want to research stuff.
This is fun. Back then it was boring. Because I didn't do a grade. And my video work, I just spent a lot of time doing video work.
You did a lot of that.
My A honor roll, I was an honor roll student.
You were an honor roll student?
My English honor roll.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
English. Yeah.
Well, and you were on the A honor roll when you're doing web design.
Web
work.
design, 100%.
Yeah,
And now for welding.
Okay, pray for me, folks, please. This is my life.
Hopefully.
At least for this week. Check back next week and we'll tell you if it continues.
Happy trails.
Enjoy, folks. Find a plane and
Pick a
try.
limb, settle in,
100%.
let the story begin. Make yourself home while we wander and roam. We stay on one branch or we leap to the next, following the trail through the simple and complex. Just father and son, having some fun. Follow the trail, see where it leads. A little wonder is all that you need. Chasing the light on a squirrely ride.